Okay, she's come up with something else. She says, "This is in Virginia, how I trace the drone streams to the transformer. Watch inside the blue light. You can see pink, white, glistening line. That's their tech. Perps connect together this way to make the web grid and burn, etc." Wow. Wow. Isn't that something? You learn something every day. I know one place where we were living, the transformers started sparking, and there was sparks just like flying everywhere. So I had to contact the electrical company out, and they had to come and deal with their transformer was like sparking and going crazy. So this is pretty interesting. Wow. So this is another thing that we can watch for. Look at that. Look at that. Just look at that. There's no drones, says Targeted Justice. There's no drones. They don't talk about the drones. We need to talk about the drones. I mean, look at this. That's a great capture. That's coming from the sky on top of her house. Yeah, that's what they do here. But she's figured out a way to master the captures and to throw a couple screwballs their way, too. I love it. I mean, this is crazy. Wow, look at that. Just look at that. It's amazing, isn't it? Look at that. Okay, please upload this capture to your own YouTube because the information needs to get out there that drones are being used. Targeted Justice and PACTS and all these other people won't talk about the drones. And they don't talk about the captures. And I've had people sending me in captures of drone strikes for several years. Those videos, of course, were taken down on my old YouTube because I supported the truckers in Canada. And being a Canadian, you weren't allowed to talk about the truckers at all. So now that the truckers have won in court, I'm hoping that, different things will get resolved and some items will end. So I've recorded multiple drones, and the police now have come forward stating that they are using drones in surveillance systems. Surveillance is one thing. Weaponization of drones is another. This is supposed to be dealt with. So if the Department of Defense or any private military contractors are torturing citizens for profit inside Canada, Canada actually ratified the International Criminal Court, which is crimes against humanity. So if people have been refusing to address, or the ICC's been refusing to address Nils Milsner's reports, that's bizarre. We fund the International Criminal Court. Perhaps, should we defund them? Is that something that needs to be looked at? Because, this is worldwide. This is happening to people in countries all over the world, as reported in the Senate of the United States. The Canadian government won't talk about this, and Directed energy weapons were covered in the criminal code pre-2017. You can check an old police handbook that's on the criminal code, and it was covered under sections 80, 81, and 82. That's a fact, pre-2017. Then without a fart or a whisper, they either disappeared from those sections, 80, 81, 82, and were stuffed elsewhere in the criminal code, or they were completely removed from the criminal code so that officers and others could actually use directed energy weapon strikes from the sky. Which brings me back to the first issue, the International Criminal Court. There shall be no secret courts against us. There shall be no torture. We ratified this. The United States didn't, but the United States is attempting to deal with this at their Senate level and in congressional hearings, but nobody's talking about it here. So what does that make our government in Canada, who's all proud of signing the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which is toilet paper because it's only civil litigation, and they don't have enforcement or implementation of crimes against humanity, and they don't investigate it. I was told that the first obligation of an officer is when you tell them you are being tortured, they have to address torture. They can't respect non-disclosure agreements. Their first obligation as an officer is, I was told, they're supposed to deal with that, and that's not happening. So I guess, we got to wait for Big Brother. Crazy, just crazy, because we work on two totally different legal systems. Apparently, the United States' legal system might be a little stronger, clearly,